Alright, hey guys, how are you doing today?
We are back, and we just wanted to bring you another video and talk about some occult topics. And today we wanted to talk about many things, and the first thing we wanted to talk about was a question that someone sent us about cleansing your karma. And first off,
Kind of a strange question, actually, I found.
well, it was a question by someone who doesn't really have like any kind of magical background or
Yeah.
But just in case you don't have some kind of metaphysical background or know very much about karma or cleansing yourself, you can't cleanse your karma. Karma isn't something you can just wash away. Karma is something that you have to
Work through.
Yeah, work through, experience, and then learn from. And that's how you pay your karma. Not all karma comes in the form of a debt.
Well, I mean, they're lessons. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the universe will keep giving them to you until you get it and hopefully make a better decision, wiser choice, choose a different path, and then you'll see a different result. But, I mean, you can't get rid of karma. I mean, there are some pantheons that actually believe that you carry your ancestors' karma. So whatever bad karma your grandparents had or great-grandparents, you actually have to live through that in this life. So it's not something you can escape. I guess the easiest thing is just learning from it, or you're doomed to keep repeating it pretty much.
But I think that what they were trying to really ask was, how do you cleanse yourself? Because it was a two-part question, and it had to do with how do I cleanse my karma and improve my finances or something like that. So that has nothing necessarily to do with your karma, but it could be part of it, but I think the question was, how do you cleanse yourself? And there's many ways you can cleanse yourself. You can take a spiritual bath. You can cleanse yourself with smoke. I know people who can cleanse themselves with crystals. There's all kinds of ways to spiritually cleanse yourself. Not of your karma, but any negativity or blockages that you may have that may prevent you from attaining certain financial statuses, I guess.
Or whatnot.
Yeah, or to help you get ahead financially, or to make sure that your roads and your path aren't blocked, so you can't receive what is rightfully yours.
Pretty much.
How you can improve yourself financially? There are a lot of things you can do. And I know personally there are things you could do with herbs around your home. Number one, you always want to make sure that you cleanse yourself first before you do anything to bring you something, because you can do as many spells as you want to bring you love or to bring you money, but ultimately if your path is blocked, it's not going to necessarily work the way you want it to, or it just might not work at all.
Yeah.
But that was just a little bit on cleansing your karma. Karma, that is a big thing right now. I know that there are a lot of people on YouTube who are very new age and very, metaphysical in that respects, to where there's a lot of talk about karma and high vibrations, and let's talk about high vibrations for a little bit.
I pretty much only shit talk, it seems. Because I'm not here to tell you, look, you can go look that shit up. It's internet. Look it up. How to cleanse yourself. Can you get rid of karma? No. If that was the case, everybody would have got rid of their karma, dude. I would have ditched mine long ass time ago. So would Luna. So would lots of people. But you can't. It's something you gotta work through. Lessons.
And not all karma is bad. Really, it's not all. Some of it's really good, like karma that's owed to you, in a good way. Like, that's not all. I know a lot of people have this misconception that, because they hear the phrase bad karma, you're gonna get bad karma. This is gonna go back to you. You should not do this because it's gonna hurt you in the long run. Well, I don't necessarily think that. It may blow up in your face, okay, but there's a reason why you followed your instincts and did what you did. And that's part of karma. And then there's karmic relationships.
Okay, now we're going on a whole other tangent. Okay, listen, I was on something and she interrupted me and I can't even remember what it was. But the whole point of it is you can't get rid of your karma. I'm pretty sure most people know that, but in case you don't, like Luna said, there are ways to get through it. You just gotta learn. And like she said, there's different relationships. Look into astrology, look into numerology to see the connections you have with people, the karmic relationships that you gotta work through. Because a lot of the people you can't stand are probably people you gotta work karma through with, as much as we hate that. Seriously. High vibrations. My sister's been talking about that because a lot of people have been mentioning that. And I personally have already mentioned it in a video. If you got to keep telling people how fucking awesome and high vibrational and positive you are, you're probably a seething piece of shit really inside. And that's the truth. And I'm not pointing at anybody, but if you got to sit there and tell everybody all the time how fucking powerful you are, or how awesome, or how you know all this, and you got to keep repeating it. I don't know. You're convincing yourself. So,
it's not different than being pious and self-righteous.
It's exactly the same thing. It is. So I'm not claiming that my vibrations are any higher than anybody else's at all, because I don't know your vibration.
And to be honest, I don't sit there and think about, how high is my vibration today, and what can I do to make it higher? I don't ever really think about how high or low my vibration is, but if I were to sit there and think about it, maybe not as high as most of you claim to be, but
I don't know. I guess you have to compare. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of people comparing their magical, their whatnots with the others, and maybe that's where it all stems from, but
I do want to take this time to say something really quick.
Yes.
And I want you all to know that we're not bullies, okay? We don't go around picking on everybody.
Just the ones that
But there are some of you that really fucking deserve it, and one of you in particular.
And I've got a vendetta out for you, and listen to me. I am not perfect. I will tell you right now, I have a really bad problem with wanting to get back at somebody. And I don't forget things.
Especially if you fucking deserve it.
And some people do. And I'm sorry, but if you keep coming after us, we're going to come after you. And we're not going to stop. We really won't. And that's part of we're teaching you the lesson. We're teaching you the lesson. Be careful who you are mean to all the time. We didn't start a lot of this. A lot of this was brought to us, and we had to deal with it. I didn't really want to deal with it, but come on. You have to, at some point, stand up for yourself. There's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself. That doesn't make you a bully. It makes you a fucking warrior. Stand up. Don't let people walk all over you. Fuck that. You can keep saying everything you want to convince yourself that you're great, but it doesn't mean that you are.
And turning the other cheek doesn't make you an asshole. I think staying in one spot and taking it over and over again makes you an asshole. Because you're not learning. Okay? And I'm not going to let somebody walk all over me or my sister.
Yeah, so. I mean, come on. I'm sorry, I get the bully thing. And it would be different if me and her were making videos on everybody. And we were, okay, don't get me wrong. We thought about it because it'd be kind of funny. But
if you have a video that you think is stupid and you want to
send it to us, we will watch it.
And we will review it and we will give you our critique. Okay.
Our honest opinion. I don't know. I just think it's funny. But we did agree that if people have to keep saying that, they were born a witch, what can I just say? Just because your grandma or your aunt showed you a spell when you were 9 does not make you a witch, darling. Not at all. But, I guess it was cool they showed you something if that was true.
And just because you claim to be born a witch doesn't make you a good witch. I mean, when I say good witch, I mean
character, motherfucker. Yeah, we're not talking about white and black and good magic and bad magic. We're talking about character.
Talent.
Who a person is. Some, not all of you, but a few of you are fucked character-wise. But the rest of you are very, very cool. There are a few, just a few.
And the ones that are cool don't fucking post videos and comments constantly about how we are evil. We know we're evil. We're not trying to...
I'm in touch with every part of myself, bad and good. And I live and coexist with them equally. I'm fine with that, actually. I find more power in that, I believe, than ignoring it.
What was I going to say? I was going to say somebody asked me about something that was on my altar, like a I want to say a
It was
couple
like
videos. Something
every
about
day or something.
the Virgin Guadalupe on my Santa Muerta altar. I don't have a statue of her. I was doing something in particular. Has nothing to do with Santa Muerte. Whether or not it's good for you and to put it on your altar, I can't speak for you. I know at that time when I was doing that and that was on my altar, it's because I was doing something in particular. And it's not part of my everyday.
Part.
Yeah, it's not part of my everyday altar workings or whatever you want to call it. And sometimes I don't work at an altar. And I want to stress this out, okay? Because somebody said something about, you need, the only way you can do magic is if you have a working altar, and that's not true. You don't need to always do magic on your altar.
You can do it in your mind,
or you could do it out in nature. That doesn't.
Yeah, you don't need any tools. A true magician has it within them. So, no, I agree with that. Definitely, you don't, because there might be times where you're between homes, you have no place. What, you can't do magic? No, you still can. So, yeah, use what you got.
And it's not any less effective.
No, not at all. No. It's all in the will. Think about that. It's all in the will of the magician or witch. It's the will that gets you through that. I mean, everything else is part of it, but your will, for the most part, is the strongest part of it all. That's how it happens.
Everything acts more as a tool for, like activation. It's all mental. It's like if personally, on my altar, there are things that I can't sit there and focus on in my mind because my mind just kind of goes everywhere. But if I have something physical in front of me, it helps me center and helps me get a clear picture, and then I can work that way. But I could do the same thing outside. I could do the same thing with like a feather or a stick or something, and that's not very good.
I do think in the beginning, for most people, they need those tools. It's something that they're kind of they're familiar with and they're taught with, and it teaches them, it connects them with the elements or whatever. Yeah. The more that you work through that, and the more you work magic and years down the line, you don't really need those things. I'm not saying you don't want to have them, and you will. I mean, I do too. But you will work magic on the spur of the moment when you need to, because you'll be able to. You'll know how to, and you won't need the tools necessarily. I'm not saying that it won't make it more powerful or whatnot. My point is you don't need that in order to achieve your outcome that you want.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times now, especially on YouTube, that there are a lot of younger kids who are solely putting all their magical energy in an altar and putting up a lot of fear in themselves that they only can do magic on an altar because anywhere else it won't work for them. And like my sister said, it's very good to connect with the elements when you're first starting out, because you can develop an intimate relationship with an element, and then you can understand the psychology and the personality of the element. And then when you're outside or wherever it is that you happen to be where you need to do something, you can make the correspondence very easily, and then you can work magic within yourself.
I don't know. I get that they're all being taught one way, or a lot of them seem to be being taught one way. But the more you practice, you'll come up with your own structure. You will. So just keep experimenting. I don't know. Seriously. I mean, a lot of the greatest magicians, they sometimes didn't have an altar they worked on. Sometimes they did it outside in the middle of the desert, conjured up what they had to. So I know that you don't necessarily need all that in order to do it. And they were some of the greatest magicians in the world, that ever lived. So on that note,
you see, we're not bitches all the time.